special event alert.
They took away my waiver, so I had to shave for the first time in a year. Which is excuse number 260 for being late for changeover, your weekly space news and variety show. I'm your host, Marty Smith, and I'm joined by our trusty Mr. History, Eric Perrott.
Unshaven, but here and ready to work, baby.
Unshorn head.
Yeah,
like
hair. Look at that. It's blossoming like a garden.
Like a chia pet. We're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all Guardians and to the other lesser branches as well. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh because...
Wait for changeover. Watch the Rockies.
I'm going to get more exotic with that just to piss Jake off.
That's cool. I miss poor Jake today. He's gone, huh? Jake's out?
Yeah, poor Jake is on assignment in Italy.
Yeah, that's why I said poor Jake. Traveling in Europe.
Suffering over there. I mean, look at all that jet lag, you know.
Oh, it's got to be so tough.
Trying to convert. What money they have over there in Italy? What's their money?
It's still the euro.
Oh, everybody's on euros?
Yeah.
Except for Britain? So.
Yeah. Euros.
Still, and the train system, you know.
It's a tough job that he's got over there, man. What bottle of wine am I drinking tonight?
Oh, I know. What topless beach to go to?
Do I put an egg on my pizza or not? I don't know.
Really? They do that over there?
Oh, yeah, man. Put an egg on your pizza.
Like a cooked egg or?
Partial with a little sunshine running around on top.
On a pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Do it on your burger, too. You know that. Put an egg on a burger.
Well, yeah, but that was always like a Hawaiian thing. I never knew that Italy did that.
Yeah, they'll put egg on the pizza, baby.
I know, spam and eggs. You know, they put that everywhere over in Hawaii. So
that's right.
That's the whole loco moco, right?
I like it. Let's go.
All right. So, should we jump off into the news then?
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear.
Okay. Well, then let's get to the news, shall we? This first story is from Task and Purpose. An Air Force test pilot is picked to command a year-long Mars simulation mission. Not actually go to Mars, Eric, but they're going to be a simulated mission. So now listen to this. This is interesting. I'm going to ask you about this at the end. An Air Force test pilot will lead a 4-person NASA crew living for a year inside a simulated Mars habitat as the space agency gears up for future long-term flights. So we can't figure out how to get there, but we can lock some people up for a year to see how well they do. Right?
Well, and last week we talked about the more space travel, the more damage it does to your body.
It does to their cells, right?
Yeah. So
really, you know, to simulate this, they should put them in some, just build a big, 2-mile long track with one locomotive on there, right? Take them around that track for, 7 to 8 months, which is the travel time to Mars. And then when they get off in all their suits and all that stuff. Then they walk into this simulated environment. Now we're talking. Right?
That's more realistic for sure.
Yeah, now we're talking. The crew will also include a Space Force officer and a Marine Corps FA-18 Hornet pilot was picked as an alternate for the mission. Let's see. The NASA said this mission will provide NASA with foundational data to inform human exploration of the moon, Mars, and beyond. So let's see. Air Force Major Ross Elder and Space Force Colonel Ellen Ellis will be paired with 2 civilians as a crew of a year-long crew health and performance exploration analog.
Okay, take a step back.
What?
1 male, 1 woman?
I know, and 2 more civilians. That's why I said Jake really needed to be here for this story.
Okay.
Keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay.
It gets more interesting. The 4 will enter an isolated Mars-like habitat known as Mars Dune Alpha inside NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston this October 19th and will not emerge until October 26th, 2026. The habitat makes for close quarters at just 1,700 square feet, which is a couple hundred square feet more than Margaritaville.
This is asking for trouble. Oh my God.
The mission is one of several planned by NASA to test how a human crew would adapt to the long durations of a manned mission to Mars. The missions will take place in what NASA calls a 3D printed habitat in which the crew will undergo realistic resource limitations, equipment failures, communication delays, isolation and confinement, and other stressors, along with simulated high-tempo extravehicular activities. Now, can you imagine the planning crew in there? Just like, what are we going to do to them today? Right? Let's do the leak. Boop. You know, they got to respond to that. Or let's do the toilets don't work. You know,
Boy, this is going to be an interesting outcome.
wow. You talk about Truman Show kind of control, right?
Right.
These guys are just like, cue the Mars storm.
All you've got is whatever they throw at you on a daily basis.
And they have no idea, right? They have no idea. So do you think if they're like working hard one day and they're just exhausted, do they run some emergency at them? You know?
Yeah.
Like Gene Hackman on Crimson Tide, where he's like, I think it's the best time to run a drill.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree. And then we're talking no TV, no internet.
No. Right? What they got?
You ever watch Alone? You ever watch Alone on TV, man? Those people go nuts. Are you kidding me? Come on. It's gonna be a year.
I've watched Castaway. Yeah, I've seen that. During the year in the simulated environment, crew members will carry out a scientific research and operational tasks, including simulated Mars walks, growing a vegetable garden, robotic operations, and more. Technologies specifically designed for Mars and deep space exploration will also be tested, including a potable water dispenser and diagnostic medical equipment. The mission is a second year-long Chapia mission. A 4-person crew completed a year-long mission in July 2024. So, to give them credit, let's talk about the crew. So these, the first guy there is
the pilot, F-18 pilot.
No, he's the Air Force guy.
Oh, I thought he might have been the Marine.
Elder. His last name is Elder. He's a major, a test pilot at Edwards Air Force Base. He will command the mission. An Air Force Academy graduate and fighter pilot for much of his career, Elder recorded 200 combat flight hours and has flown the F-35, F-15, and A-10. All right. The second lady there, the full bird colonel, is Colonel Ellis. She will serve as a missions medical officer. According to the NASA biography, she is a material leader in the Communication Systems Directorate at the National Reconnaissance Office. So she currently works in the NRO as a Communication Systems Directorate, a full bird colonel. And
but we're going to make her a medical officer?
A medical officer? Interesting, right? The third lady is Marine Captain Emily Phillips. She was named one of 2 alternate crew members for the mission. She's an FA-18 pilot and U.S. Naval Academy graduate. Phillips is currently assigned as a forward air controller and air officer attached to an infantry battalion and Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in 29 Palms, California. That title is ridiculous. You got to cut that down. That's too much.
So we're talking 2 men and 2 women.
Well, I don't know who the civilians are, but Elder, the first person there, he's the commander.
Right.
Major Elder.
Yeah,
right?
the colonel outranks.
The second lady is Ellis, Colonel, full bird Colonel Ellis.
But
the
Major, you're going to run the show.
Yeah. Interessante, don't you think?
There's some small conflict of interest there somehow.
2 grades. I mean, I'm sure once they're under NASA, they're all just happy to be there. Nobody plays any power games. or do they?
Or do they?
We never hear about them, right? So, if you're curious, this is one shot of the simulated Mars,
Terrain.
the place they're going to be.
Okay.
Obviously, the outside. So, not too many more pictures other than that for a year.
Spouses? Any of these guys married? Do you know?
I don't know. They didn't go into that. I was really interested in how they got selected,
Yeah.
especially when you got an NRO officer. We got a slot on the team for medical. You want to do that? And she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember self-aid buddy care. I could do medical."
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of weird when you actually have someone that is responsible for collection intel.
Yeah, isn't
Intel
it?
collection. We're going to make her a medical officer on a trip to Mars.
Right. Interesting. So,
Something doesn't fit, brother.
but they're going in on the 19th of October. So,
Okay.
wish them well.
Good luck.
God,
that sounds
nutsy.
nuts to me, but okay.
Jake, if you're listening, this is your dead time to shine, baby. Sorry you're not here.
I'm sure he would have been talking about Velcro.
Oh my God.
And
I just want to know how they got chosen to go do it. Obviously, they got a volunteer, right? Obviously, you think your assignment sucks. So he's
Probably.
like, hey, I'll go volunteer to be NASA for a year. This flying stuff sucks.
Because nobody's going to call me sir or ma'am when I'm walking around or saluting or any of that crap.
Or does this guarantee you, if you do this, does this guarantee you, like, are you in the astronaut program now? Are you considered part of the program?
I wouldn't think so.
Because I'd be like, hey, if you can last a year, right, with a higher ranking officer of the opposite gender, and you guys walk out of there and you still can shake hands and be friends, you're in the program.
In 1,700 square feet?
It's 1,700 square feet with
for a
us
year.
effing with you for 360
Right.
plus days.
With no type of entertainment, probably a treadmill, a little workout action, but that's
No,
about
go work
all
on
the
your garden. Yeah.
entertainment you got. Oh my God, come on, man.
I mean, they've got to have some guarantees, right? I mean, I guess it's a status to say that, but they already ran one of these, and I don't know. I've never even heard of it.
Me neither.
So how much fame you getting out of that, right?
Not a lot.
Maybe maybe they're already in and they volunteer to do it, or maybe this qualifies them to be in the NASA program.
And truly, what can the experiments that are being done in this place, which is not Mars, really afford you?
I don't know what what do they
a real trip?
Yeah, what do they accomplish? Because you're not they would have to build some low gravity, no atmosphere environment. And maybe it didn't say, to even pretend to grow a garden.
Well,
right?
And you're actually going to still probably have to put on some type of suit to go outside, right?
Well, sure.
Simulate walking outside the terrain.
Right. But you still got Earth soil? Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear all the rest of those details.
Yeah.
Task and purpose was mum on those.
You didn't import a bunch of sand from Mars and say, put your garden in this.
Right. Yeah, go do the Martian shit. Let's see you do some Damon stuff out there.
Poo potatoes. Poo potatoes.
Okay, moving on. This one is from military.com, and we're still blowing up boats, Eric.
Hey,
we are blowing up Venezuelan boats.
Letting that man know who his boss is.
Oh, my God. Oh, there's one. So this is from military.com, and I updated the story. The story I sent you was for the second attack. There's actually been a third attack, he said.
Wow.
So Trump says U.S. forces sank a third suspected drug boat off Venezuela. U.S. naval forces in the Caribbean have sunk a third alleged drug running boat off the coast of Venezuela. We knocked off, I wish I could do Trump, man. We knocked off actually 3 boats, not 2, but you saw 2, but we hit a third. Trump said on the White House,
beautiful drug boats,
but they went down like Davy Jones. This came. So this third strike, he announced it today or yesterday. It came after a strike on September 2nd, in which 11 people aboard. We covered that last week.
Yep.
So in all, the U.S. has sent ships with thousands of sailors and Marines to waters near Venezuela in recent weeks. The latest announcement came a day after the president posted on social media that U.S. forces had attacked a boat leaving Venezuela, killing 3 individuals he referred to as terrorists. Later that day, from the Oval Office, he stated that the target vessel had been carrying cocaine and fentanyl.
Ooh.
The president also warned on his Truth Social website that such operations would continue. Quote, be warned, all in caps, be warned. If you are transporting drugs that can kill Americans, we are hunting you. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's well said.
It's probably not the right thing to do, but I like it. All right, here's the video of the second boat, not this third one. We don't have any video of that, but this is the one a few days ago. So again, no sound.
Power it, baby.
Yeah, there's no sound on this.
That's rough waters too, isn't it?
I know. It doesn't. Yeah,
man.
I don't know what they're launching at them, but my God, they're accurate.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's hitting a boat in the sea with that missile.
That whole thing's inflamed. Yeah.
Oh, man. Look at that. Let's watch it one more time.
You would almost think that that's being lazed by somebody somewhere.
Got to be laced, right? It's got to be laced.
Directing that kind of munitions in on it.
Yeah, because you can't put a GPS cord on there, so it's got to be laced, right?
It's got to be moving. Yeah, you'd have to.
Look at that. Then. Oh, man. That's 3. Now, how many of those guys, and they're like, hey, you're scheduled for tomorrow, and they're like, oh,
yeah,
I'm not
get a haircut.
Well,
gotta get a haircut.
Gotta get a haircut. And Wardle wants to go. Do you mind if he just takes my place? I don't need to go before him. So.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
God,
man,
that's got to be given him. And it's out there. It's got to be easy enough to detect the signatures of these boats, right? From tens, hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
So
and apparently it don't matter how fast they are.
Oh, no, it can't outrun a missile.
No.
Or a laser.
You're done, man.
And I'm just curious how far away that video was taken. Right? Is that like an orbiting E3 maybe or something?
It could even be a Predator dropping munitions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Some kind of overhead asset flying around.
Wow, these guys are just kicked back on the bench seats like, and, wow.
Eat it.
Golly. So
lunch has been served.
So, that's 3. I don't know how much more message you need out there. And, and there's so far, there hasn't been any call for like, hey, we don't even know who's on board those boats. That would be Venezuela's thing.
Oh, yeah.
We know who's on those boats.
I would assume Venezuela, like Mexico, has cartels running their drugs, right? So
Trump's saying it's Tren de Aragua.
Okay.
That are running this, but
big games.
Or contracted by Tren de Aragua,
And I think he's already listed them as a terrorist organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was around when they arrested that guy and were shipping him back. I think it was around that time, a little bit before that. So,
yeah.
All right, Eric.
Cool
this
video.
There you keep those coming. That's like I said, that's like predator porn of 2003 way back when. So, all right, Eric. This last story from Task and Purpose should warm your hardcore heart.
So we're not talking about space then, right?
No, we're not talking about space. Army grooming standards and hairstyles get more strict under new orders. So basically, it's just going back, not even all the way back, but it's going back to what you and I know, right?
The way it should be.
Probably. Yeah.
Freaking grooming standard that doesn't need to change.
You don't need some 18-year-old convincing you that, and that whole effort, I think that whole effort, I wish they would go and revisit that, because that whole effort of relaxing standards and making it easier for people to get in, that was because they couldn't get people in.
Yeah.
That's
and now
that
all
whole
the
thing.
recruitment is all back up where it needs to be now.
They just
Look
had
at
to get.
that.
They just had. I just saw a story about an Air Force recruiter who just got 100 in this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think
So,
they're hurting anymore.
I'm certainly basing that on the administration as well. That
Well,
happens
the
to be in place
attitude,
at
the
the time.
leaders,
Yeah.
they're dropping all that woke training and stuff, and
And
I
your new
think, yeah,
Secretary
they're
or
like,
Secretary of War.
yeah, this is what I want to join, not
Yeah.
the TikToking drag queen over here. So,
Bingo. Oh,
the Army is tightening its standards for soldiers' hairstyles. The service issued this is a little long, but it's worth every paragraph. So, the service issued a directive Monday to quote remove ambiguity in previous and expired notices that cover appearance and grooming standards. Officials said in a statement, soldiers will have 30 days to comply with the new policies and make an appointment and see a professional to make changes. The rules will be enforced. Here, you'll also like this part. The rules will be enforced by commanders and non-commissioned officers via on-the-spot corrections, according to the directive. So that's really what we're used to, right? Tuck that shirt in, put your hat on, that kind of thing.
enforce the standards. Hello.
Yeah, you don't need any written stuff. That's on-the-spot correction. This definitive guidance gives leaders the tools they need to do just that. You don't have to memorize it, but you should know what right looks like, Sergeant Major of the Army Michael Weimer said in a statement. In the previous AR 670-1 regulation, men were allowed to have haircuts that were described as, quote unquote, neatly groomed or neat and conservative. New updates now, changes to the regulation now, prescribe a very precise length and style. Men should have, quote, tapered or faded haircuts that are evenly blended around sides and back with a maximum of 2 inches in length on top and 1 inch on the sides and back of their head.
Hell yeah.
Hairstyles with locks, braids, or twists are prohibited for men.
Hell yes.
I see. I knew you would be all happy
I
about that.
like it.
According to the directive, only shaved or closely cut hair on the back of the neck may touch the collar of the uniform. The Army directive notes that soldiers are required to have natural shades of hair color and that both men and women can opt for fully shaved heads. For women, the new directive gets even more details. So there's a lot for women. So bear with me.
Good. Welcome to the Army. Come on.
For instance,
yes.
women with shorter hair are no longer allowed to have asymmetrical cuts and styles. So one side longer than the other, that kind of thing. The new guidance also clarifies the maximum length that women can wear their hair as 6 inches from top of collar instead of the previous vague guidance that said soldiers' hair should not go past the shoulder blades. Ponytails have come and gone for women in the Army with medium and long hair, and with the latest update, women are allowed to wear ponytails with their combat and PT uniforms, but not in their dress uniform. Ponytails also have to be centered at the back of the head and positioned horizontally in line with the top of the ears when viewed from the side. No, none of that. What was
Alfalfa.
Horton Hears a Who stuff. Man.
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss stuff. For women who sport braids, locks, twists, and cornrows in their hair, they must be uniformly styled to ensure a cohesive appearance. Their hair can be worn as a single ponytail or in 2 braids, equal in length and width, and is a maximum of 2 inches wide, according to the directive. God, that's really, no wonder a lot of the women just like, I'm cutting it short. This is too complicated. It's like, no kidding.
That's the way it should be.
Kidding. Well, yeah, you're supposed to train to fight a war.
Yes.
Yeah, nobody's worried about that in wartime.
That's right. Let's go.
The new policy also tamps down on a growing makeup trend and prohibits women from wearing lip liner without a medical exemption. Women are only allowed to wear clear or skin tone lip gloss. That's that. You know what that goes back to? That goes back to, remember when the term was faddish? You can't have faddish colors. That's what it seems like it's going back to. Beyond the new additions to soldier grooming rules, the new Army directive also includes specific standards that were part of previous regulations, emphasizing a more natural look when it comes to areas like makeup and nail length. Men are still not allowed to wear any makeup unless allowed by a medical waiver, and women who wear it have to keep it to a conservative application that matches their natural complexion.
The way
another
it's supposed to.
another standard that previously existed but was reemphasized with the directive coincides with new Air Force grooming standards that prohibit the use of eyelash extensions, with the exception of a waiver to address natural lash loss. The decision process included many senior leaders with differing backgrounds and experiences. Medical professionals provided their guidance on options for medical examinations. Officials said in a statement accompanying the regulation changes, quote, "This was truly an informed decision." So it wasn't just a whole bunch of hardcore Erics got together and did this. They got supposedly a breadth of experience and opinions together before they put these.
If I had done it, we wouldn't have been changing it 20 years ago to some stupid reg
That's
and then
true.
changing it again for
And we
10.
would have had enlistment levels down to an all-time low with Eric Perrott as
No,
the
it would have been the
chief sergeant major.
administration's problem because they had freaking converted everything that we
That's
had done.
That's
I'm
true.
really interested in what kind of money that each time we have to rewrite a grooming standard
Oh yeah,
in 3510 or whatever Army regulation it is,
right.
the cost to go from here. Oh, well, we've done that. It didn't work. Now we're coming back to this.
It'll be a
It's the
million.
same thing with
Millions.
renaming bases and shit.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
ridiculous. The money we spent on
Jake
that.
loves that. He loves
Yeah.
that stuff too.
He'd lose his mind.
He loves pissing money. What is that? Good money after bad or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Just
exactly
crazy.
what we do it in the military. Okay, now that I brought you back to
Hey, now I feel much better.
that.
Hey, by the way, is that just Army?
The story was about the Army. There's some Air Force sprinkled in there too, but
I wonder if Air Force is going to start coming back too as well.
there was another story, something about shaving waivers.
Okay.
But I didn't go into it because I thought that was all incorporated. It wasn't. So, but there's something about shaving where you can't have a waiver for more than a year or something like that. So,
Hello.
or they're going to kick you out, or they're going to find you got to find some other solution to it.
Fix
You can't
the
just have
problem.
this perpetual beard running because you got bumps.
Yeah.
There's a lot of white guys with bumps apparently now.
Yeah, with a
At the
bunch of
front
beads.
gate. I'm like, what do you got? What are you wearing a full beard for?
It's
You're not
ridiculous.
special ops because you're out here checking IDs at the gate. And you don't seem to have the skin tone for that folliculitis, whatever that is. So
Pseudofolliculitis or something like that.
folliculitis. Okay, today we're going to try a new segment. I can't wait till Jake gets back. Where,
Woo!
as we discussed last week with the Japanese bombing the U.S. mainland in World War II, there's a lot of, I call it, unheralded history. It's not unique. It's not forgotten. It's not obscure. It just goes by and we don't talk about it. We can talk about Gettysburg. We can talk about D-Day. We can talk about Mosul, that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of cool stuff that the military has either experienced, gone through, done.
Absolutely.
So this segment, and I'm calling it Unheralded History because I couldn't come up with a better name for it.
I like it.
But we are going to challenge each other to find the most unique U.S. military history story that we can. And then we'll come together and we'll vote on who wins that week. All right.
I like
You
it.
want to go first? Or do you want to go first?
No, I'll let you go first
All right.
because I think I've got the better history anyway.
I know. I'm going to dust you with this one. All right. How far west did the Civil War come? Right? I don't know. I never know. I knew we had some stuff out of it. We never had anything in Colorado. Never any direct battles in Colorado.
Okay.
Sand Creek was during it, but it wasn't really a civil war. It wasn't part of the Civil War. However, there was one in New Mexico. Right? So my history is the Battle of Glorieta Pass on March 26th through the 28th, 1862.
Wow.
Okay. During the Civil War, the Confederates campaigned to take control of the West. You know that? I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Which would have greatly improved their chances of success. Starting in Texas, the Confederate Army planned to move north into the New Mexico territory. They hoped to make their way toward the Colorado gold mining camps. That makes sense. And eventually travel west to the coast to take seaports at Los Angeles and San Diego. And when you think of that strategy, you're like, whoa, if they had done that, that's crazy to think what may have happened, right?
Yeah, they could have stretched that war out for a long time.
Oh, and they could have blockaded those ports. So they could have
Yeah.
got, who knows, would have helped them, right?
Yeah.
To take Colorado and continue the campaign, the Confederates needed to take Fort Union, a supply center for federal forces across the territory and beyond. I don't know exactly where Fort Union was, but I think it was not in Colorado, but it was a launching point to go to Colorado for supplies. A group of about 400 Confederate soldiers led by Charles L. Pyron and William Reed Scurry traveled east along the Santa Fe Trail in the direction of Glorieta Pass. Once they were in New Mexico, they kind of split off. This force of 400 was going to try to take or head towards Fort Union. Simultaneously, a Union force led by Colonel John P. Slough of the 1st Colorado Infantry. So these were Colorado troops.
That's boys.
Of 400 soldiers waited for them on the other side of the pass. The Battle of Glorieta Pass took place during the winter months of the year, March, at an elevation above 7,000 feet.
That was snowy cold.
So you're a Southern troop coming from,
Mississippi.
And you're like,
Georgia.
What is this? Where the hell are we, right? Hilly, rocky, covered with forest. Both sides dealt with cold, snow, altitude, and enclosed terrain. You've lived your whole life at sea level. Now you're 7,000 feet.
You're altitude sick. You're puking.
My God. The conflict began on March 26, 1862, when the Union forces encountered the Confederates coming up the Santa Fe Trail. The Union troops forced the Confederates back to their camp at Johnson's Ranch, taking scores of prisoners. Expecting more fighting to come, both sides sent for reinforcement. The next day, nothing happened because they were waiting for reinforcements. But on March 28th, the heart of the battle occurred within a 2-mile stretch of the Santa Fe Trail. The most important force, however, bypassed this area. About 5, so they got resupplied with troops, right? They got more troops coming.
Yeah.
So about 500 Union soldiers made the way up Glorieta Mesa in the morning. Their instructions were to work their way around and attack the Confederates from the rear. After several hours of marching across the mesa, they discovered the Confederate supply train at Johnson Ranch. Climbing down a steep mesa, they destroyed the camp, burned all Confederate wagons, and ran off or killed the horses and mules. So now the Confederates got nothing. Meanwhile, the majority of both forces fought in a fierce battle at Glorieta Pass near Pigeon's Ranch that lasted from late morning to near dark. The Confederates did push the Union forces from the high ground and drove them east down the Santa Fe Trail. Even though they controlled the battlefield, the Confederates failed to break through to destroy the Union troops or to take any more supplies from the Federals. So, and plus they had no supplies coming back up, right? So they couldn't pursue them. They kind of drove them back off the battlefield, but that was it. They couldn't do any more. There were about 375 casualties over the 3 days of fighting. That was it. That was a battle. They battled all day. It sounds pretty fierce, right? 375 casualties over the 3 days of fighting. The Federals proved to be victorious because they were able to destroy all Confederate supplies. All other Confederate attempts to attack Fort Union proved fruitless, and they slowly withdrew from the territory. The Union retained control of the American Southwest for the rest of the Civil War. They never tried to come back up there, the Confederates.
So that stopped that expansion going west, which was huge. So it did have a major impact on the outcome of the war.
Some call the Battle of Glorieta Pass as the Gettysburg of the West due to its overall significance to the war.
Yeah, that would have been huge.
And that's, I take my hat off to the planners and stuff. If that was Lee's plan, is like, if we can secure money and all the supplies in the West, we can make this war, we could outlast them,
Yeah. Well, especially with the railroad coming from the West.
Right. And that was early on. That was 62, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Gettysburg was till 63 or 64, right?
I think 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But imagine if they get their hands on that gold. How many other countries could they now pay to come in and help?
Yeah,
Oh man,
that would have been huge.
So that was mine. Battle of Glorieta Pass,
That's a good one.
1862.
Certainly have never heard of it.
No, right. Me
No.
neither. That's why I was thrilled to find it. So
It's good.
astonish me, Eric.
It
Astonish
ain't great. I'm about to make great. Okay, just say. This one's pretty freaking cool too. So this one started. I'm not even going to tell you the name. I'm going to give you just a quick, brief thing. So in 1970, we decided that we needed, almost going into the Cold War, right?
Yeah.
We needed to figure out how to gather and collect intelligence other than just from overhead assets, right?
True. Right.
So the Navy comes up with Operation Ivy Bells.
Ivy Bells. Okay.
So at the beginning of the 1970s, divers from the specially equipped submarine USS Halibut, SSN 587, left their decompression chamber to start a bold and dangerous mission codenamed Ivy Bells. Nearly 400 feet beneath the frigid waters right? Frigid waters of the Sea of Okhotsk. It's Okhotsk. How would you say it?
Yeah, I can't pronounce that either. I know it, but
the Sea of Otyx or something. Deep inside Soviet territorial waters. The divers stayed alive only by the umbilical cords that pumped warm water into their dive suits.
Oh man!
Right? In an effort to alter the balance of the Cold War, these men scoured the ocean floor for a 5-inch diameter cable carrying secret Soviet communications between military bases.
Whoa.
A 5-inch diameter cable on the bottom of the ocean
where
floor.
it is.
All right.
What?
So Captain James Bradley conceived the mission and firmly believed that he could find the tiny Soviet cable under the immense expanse of the ocean. Bradley remembered the signs that he saw during his childhood along the Mississippi River, warning boaters not to anchor near cables.
Okay.
You're going to love this. He rationalized that the Soviets would use similar signs and lead him right to his target. Bradley's theory proved correct when the Halibut located a series of such signs in the northern part of the sea after an arduous search.
No way. The Soviets actually put signs up?
Yeah, to identify their freaking secret cable on the bottom of the water. So the divers found the cable and installed a 20-foot long listening device on it. It was designed to attach to the cable without piercing the casing. The device recorded all communications that occurred. If the cable malfunctioned and the Soviets raised it for repair, the bug, by design, would fall into the bottom of the ocean. Each month, Navy divers retrieved the recordings and installed a new set of tapes. Now think about this, 1970s, the technology is, old wheel-to-wheel, what do they call them?
Yeah.
The tapes. So interesting.
Those are at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah.
Or is it transmitting up to the...
transmitting, and they're pulling him up.
Okay,
the tape.
all right.
Yeah. So upon their return to the United States, intelligence agencies from the National Security Agency analyzed the recordings and tried to decipher any encrypted information.
Yeah.
The Soviets apparently were so confident in the security of their communications lines as a surprising amount of sensitive information traveled through the lines without any encryption. So we are off to collecting intelligence. Now you'll love this. The Americans continued this operation until 1981.
Oh my God.
From 1970 to 1981. When one day surveillance satellites showed a number of Soviet warships, including a salvage ship, anchored over the undersea cable. Another intelligence cable submarine, USS Parch, was quickly sent to the site to retrieve the pod. Unable to find the tap, the Parch's divers realized that the Soviets had discovered the operation.
Oh, no.
The submarine made it back to the United States safely, leaving American leaders to determine how the Soviets had suddenly determined the tap. Bottom line here is I'll give you the last, how they figured it out.
Yeah.
After a long probe, U.S. counterintelligence agents determined an NSA employee named Ronald Pelton betrayed Operation Ivy Bells to the Soviets. He sold
Oh,
the secret of Operation Ivy Bells for $35,000.
yeah, 35,000.
That was it, which ended nearly a decade of espionage.
My God, why did he go 35 million?
Right?
Yeah,
Pelton was later convicted and sentenced to life in prison. The original tap that was discovered by the Soviets is now an exhibit at the KGB Museum in Moscow.
why would
Operation
they
Ivy
have that in
Bells, baby.
in their own museum? I don't
I think they're
understand
just
that.
saying that we identified it, we found it.
Oh, I see. Look at how smart we are. We
But that
found
was
it after
something.
only 11 years.
After 11 years, can you believe it? So you've got this routine submarine cruising into Soviet waters
That's
every
crazy by
however long,
itself. Yeah, that's
sending
crazy by
in
itself.
divers, picking up
Right,
the tap.
right.
Unbelievable.
That
Real successful.
I can't help but think about that operation Ivy Bells. Is that what it's called? Ivy Bells.
Yep.
And not apply it to the Soviet gas line. And they're like, how did the gas line blow up? How did that happen? I was like, shit, that's nothing. We were sending guys down on hoses in 1970.
Yeah,
You don't think we
1970.
could blow this fuel line up?
And we're not talking about Caribbean waters. We're talking about
Yeah.
frozen,
400 feet down.
whatever the temperature of that water is, 400 feet down, pumping in
Oh,
hot water into
wow.
their suit.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that one. That was pretty cool.
I don't know, man. Those are pretty equal. Those are pretty good.
They're good. Yeah,
Ivy
they're good.
Bells. I'll go with Ivy Bells just because. I'll go for yours just because that's so fantastical. That's
Well,
a
and
good
it's something
fight.
that you never heard about because it was
No.
in place until 1981.
Oh my God.
You and I had just joined the military and we had never heard of it. They were still collecting,
And
collecting intelligence.
how many divers
Oh my
over
God.
that amount of time?
Had to keep their mouths shut.
Well, there can be that many, right? I mean, how often did they say they had to go down there and retrieve or whatever it was?
I think it was once a month. I think it said. Let's see.
Whoa, that's pretty frequent, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Cords.
Wow.
So Bradley's theory proved correct. The divers found the cables. Well, the Americans continued their operations till 81. So
That's at least 130 times they're going down there to do that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. More than
So
that,
how does the submarine get just
undetected.
how does it do that? Oh,
Good
that's
question.
crazy, man. That's
Good
fantastic.
question.
Yeah, good one. I'll give you that just because I would have never guessed that. You know, I would have never
Nor
guessed
would
that.
I. Well, I liked yours too. I never realized that the battling went out west with
No,
an actual plan to extend lines.
That's
and
wild, isn't it? It wasn't just like, oh, okay, we don't have anything else. No other goals of the war except just to like fight north. Right?
yeah,
No, they had bigger plans. And imagine if that, like you said, when we had that conversation about these little twists and turns, could have thrown things completely different.
it could have been a whole different thing.
What if they had seized that gold? What if they were able to bring people to their cause and they moved out west and got the ports?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
And then
they could
started up a whole confederacy along the whole
Sure.
west coast down.
What,
man.
you don't think you could have had some sympathizers in the Mexican army who we had beat previously that wouldn't want some payback? You know, they would come up and help and fight.
Oh, yeah,
Especially
man.
look at the gold we can give you. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been a whole nother front that we were not prepared for.
Yeah, that would have been
But
interesting
the
to
North
talk
was not prepared for.
to General what's his name about.
Petty.
I wonder if he had heard about that one.
I mean, it's not a crazy fire maneuver battle.
No,
But
no.
the fact that it happened and did help at least secure that side of the war. I mean, imagine if you're Grant, you're like, we got to fight out in the mountains now.
Yeah, it would have been crazy. Yeah, that could have changed the whole outlook, man.
You have to send Matthew Broderick and his regiment out there. So
I would like to know the amount of classified, real good, existing classified that we were able to perform some type of operation on
Oh
that,
yeah,
that came
yeah,
from that cable.
yeah. It's not just unclassed phone calls about dining ins and stuff like that. There's got to be other stuff, right?
And think about how the
Oh,
submarine's got to go back and find the 5-inch in diameter cable every time,
well, sure, but
right?
not only that, but these guys are on hoses with warm water getting pumped. Now, were they like like the Men of Honor deep sea diving suits? That are weighted with the big
No,
fishbowl helmet, or
no. I think in 1970 you were back on compressed air.
but still, you
You
got to get. How are they getting down 400 feet? Not just free falling or swimming down there, right?
well,
Maybe they
maybe
got
they
those little GI Joe kind of propeller driven things or something,
have to
but that
read
would
into
give their
that.
position away. I would imagine the
Yeah,
noise.
I would think so too.
Fascinating, fascinating. That is great. That's fun. I like to do that every week. Let's see what
Yeah, that's
happens.
cool.
All
I
right.
liked it too.
Well,
That's
let's
fun.
close it up on that. That was fun.
Cool.
And you're going to be on assignment next week for our listening audience, and Jake will be on assignment. I was supposed to be sold and on my way to Florida, but I'm not. I'm still fixing stuff. So I'll be here,
Nice.
and I'll
Hold the fort down,
probably
man.
I'll probably who knows what I'll. But
Get you a special guest.
I'll get my realtor on here.
Ah,
On behalf of Eric and I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, subscribe, and let us know how we did in the comments. And make sure that next week you are not
Late for changeover.
Eric, as always, thanks for the week.
Yeah, man.
And to everyone listening and watching, thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week.
Good deal.